What's going on there, fellow YouTubers? It's Chris back with you guys with another cool video. I've been telling you guys I'm going to do a video of Venus, and here it is. What's funny about it is, I check my comments on my video, including my last one, and I had a guy, a naysayer, a negative comment saying, I visit your channel, I don't know if he meant like my Facebook or this one here, often, and what you show can easily be explained, something along them lines. That may not have been verbatim. So I'm guessing he thinks the last video about Mount Shop, he just thinks those are all rocks. Yeah, whatever. But what was really funny about it, it just showed ignorance, because he also said, because I mentioned about doing this, this Venus video, he said, by the way, you do know Venus is like, I forget if he said 800 or 900 degrees Fahrenheit. That kind of goes under the duh, no shit category. But what's funny about it is, so he was willing to knock the video down. He didn't even know what the hell I was even going to do with it. And how I was going to talk about it. He had no idea what I was going to say. But that's, that's just the ignorance of some people. But anyway, if you look at the, if you look at Venus here, I mean, it's, it's one of the hottest planets around, and he is correct as far as that goes. It is approximately about 872 degrees. Of course, that could vary, I'm sure of it. But according to scientists, it stays, because of the dense, close to the ground atmosphere, that they said it's very dense and it holds in a lot of heat. Therefore, the ground surface is really hot, and that would make sense. Although sometimes it's, if you read another article, it says something about the sun is unable to penetrate the actual atmosphere because it is so dense. So, I get the idea if there's any kind of cloud or different gases, it can actually turn into a greenhouse effect, which they do say. It's like one of the largest greenhouse kind of thing effects on any planet in our solar system. So it's pretty cool how they say that, but this is the reason why you have a lot of people, if you've ever seen other videos of Venus, they talk about if there was any kind of living civilization, it would be in the sky, meaning in sky cities. And the reason why they say that is because even a lot of these scientists, like even NASA and a lot of these places, a lot of these pages you read, they'll say that it's a lot Earth-like. The atmosphere is a lot Earth-like if you go 30 to 40 miles off the surface. So this is the reason why people say, well, it might be floating cities if there is any kind of life. So, yeah. So let me go over here, and I want to show you guys. Well, this is right here, if you astronomy now, which is UK, in the UK, and this photo here, you'd swear I started enhancing it, but no. You can see a projection of the cloud penetrating radar data of Venus collected in 2012, which is this right here, and I'm reading the caption under it. Striking surface features like mountains and ridges are easily seen, and then of course it gives a credit to Arecibo, which incidentally it goes from Arecibo radio telescope to here the GBT, which is the Green Banks telescope here in West Virginia. And if you read on about this, and it talks about the Green Bank telescope and so on and so forth, the radio signals from Arecibo pass through both our planet's atmosphere and the atmosphere of Venus, where they hit the surface and bounce back to receive by the GBT in the process known as bistatic radar. If you're not familiar with bistatic, when I looked it up just to make sure, what it's basically saying is you got Arecibo and then you got the GBT or the Green Banks. They're in different areas, and they're hitting an object so far away and then bouncing it back. So they call it like a bistatic. But anyway, when you look at this thing, I've got this picture here which I enhanced, and I also have this one here which I enhanced, which shows me what they did was they had like, they did like, it's still in 2012, but what they did was this one half and then did the other half. The whole globe projection of the radar data of Venus collected in 2012. The black diagonal band, and I'm not sure where they're seeing the diagonal, I can see a cross where they did the two halves, center represents areas too close to the Doppler equator. So equator I'm familiar with, but it's the way they say diagonal, so I don't know if they're meaning like this little piece here. To obtain well-resolved image data. Images credit, and of course, Arecibo, and so on, and Smithsonian, and so on and so forth. So when you get down to this thing, and it's, the way they talk about it here, it's pretty wild, guys. I mean, I love the idea of that. I mean, the way they show this. Let me see if I can move this here. Well, I can't move that there, but, well, it don't matter at this point. So when you read this, now I'm going back to this other guy where he said this, and you can see right here, 864 degrees Fahrenheit. The average temperature on Venus is 864, but when you read it at the bottom, it says lead would melt on the surface of the planet where the temperature is around 872 Fahrenheit or 467 degrees Celsius. And of course, this is in 2012, but since then they've gotten more information claiming there's more water. That the atmosphere is slightly different than they thought, so on and so forth. So what's that telling you guys? It's telling me that the more science checks out something, the more they become in the know. So I'm like, okay. But see, this is what I wanted to do. Let me go back here. This one here I thought was intriguing. And the reason why I love the idea of any kind of radar is because I've done a video, and it's called Radar Images of the Moon Show Great Details. And I did this a while back. You can look it up. In fact, I'll leave the link in my description at the bottom of this video. But when you look at this, this is what it looks like on the right. This is what it looks like what you would see with your plane telescope you'd see from Earth. This is what you would see in a radar image. Now, what I did was on the one on the right, I actually rotated so I can get it identical to look just like the one on the left. So nobody's confused. But you can see right here, this is Posidonius crater right here on the right-hand side of this large area, which I believe is the Sea of Serenity. And I could be wrong because it's been a while since I've done it, but I believe that's what it is. But look at this. Look at the radar image taken from this. Now, if you look at these, on the right-hand side, you can see this larger crater, a small one, like in a triangle shape kind of thing. Well, there they are. One, you got Bessel, and you've got this one here, which is not labeled. But the three of them, okay, boom, 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 and okay. But look at the way this is laid out. You're not telling me this is naturally occurring. Of course, this is a lousy picture. You'd have to go to the video and actually see this. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things actually lined up in a row. And these are actually what I believe are two things. Either a way in and out of the underground to go from the surface to the underground, or they're simply towers. Now, what's funny about the one on the right is when you look at it, it actually has a blurring all the way around that. And that's not the resolution of this picture. This is the real deal. You can go and look at NASA photos and every one of these, but I used to think it was NASA covering it up. It's not. I've seen several people with their own telescope take pictures of this area, and it still had this. It still had this fog, if you will, of this CGI, I thought, but yet it's still in these photos. But check it out. Guess what they didn't take out right here? This white piece. There's a white piece sitting right there. But what's funny about the whole thing is, why does this look like this? But look at this. This was taken 33 to 50 feet below the lunar surface of our own moon. What does that tell you? Look at the detail. What looks like a city you would see here from, if you were to take a satellite image, of a city here on Earth, that's what it would look like. And yet, that's what it looks like. And like I said, people would beat me up going, I got a telescope. I don't see that. Well, your telescope doesn't look through radar. It's not set up to be radar imaging. I mean, you're talking radio waves here, people. So it gives you the idea. So now, when you get off of this and you look at this here, my God, this is insane. Now, like I said, you can see these are clearly not mountain ridges, craters, any of that sort. These are actual structures. What I think happened is, if you notice, you can see a lot of it here, and then it kind of like it's still dark, but then starts to fade off. My guess is it's the most concentrated radar, part of the radar that hits this part of this planet. Now, are we seeing all below the surface? I don't believe that's what it is. I believe a lot of it is, or it all is, and this just happens to be more of the concentrated area. This is the reason why you're seeing it more darker. Now, I've got two things I want to show you. One is this one here, but I'm also going to show you the whole planet, and I'm going to let you guys pick that apart. These will also be up on my Google+. So let's have a look at this thing. Let's enhance it a little bit. Well, we can just stay with this. This is fine. Just do this. Now, check this out. What I do is I actually put some more pixels into the picture so we can make it larger without it being distorted. And you can see, anybody... well, let me backtrack. I notice a lot of people are now telling me they're starting to use their magnifiers. I don't care if it's this, like an eyepiece, and that's not something you wear in the eye. That's not what I use it for. I put it close to the screen and go over it like this here, just go over the screen slowly, or just use your magnifying glass, and more importantly, use the one that has the little super magnifier right on it if you can get one. These are like $9-10, I think I paid for it. But more people are starting to say, yeah, Chris, I'm using that. So if you are and do have a magnifier, stop this video anywhere you want and have a look at it. It's insane. These objects you see right here are clearly not just normal craters or anything like that. So you can see these things connecting. and there's a round piece here, square, rectangular, small pieces with like domes in the middle or whatever they are. But what's crazy about it, check this thing out. What does that? Goes across, goes around, comes back down, and goes around. So let me explain just quickly how radar works. Anything that is light is sent back. It is actually higher. So any higher objects that are standing off the surface are a brighter area. Okay? The darker areas are usually the valley or a smooth area. So just so you know, anything that's white or lighter in color is literally sticking up. So, again, is it ground penetrating like they do to the moon, which it kind of looks very similar? I'm not saying it is because I have no proof of that. It's just saying surface of the planet. But this to me shows underground. Okay? I'm seeing a lot. Now, is it possible a lot of these lines or these things you see here, all in here and stuff like that, are they lava tubes? Sure. Great possibility. Now, what you... when you check this out, you can see something on the lower right hand, lower left rather, I'm sorry, on this side. There's things all over this. You get this line that goes like this here. It has a ramp kind of thing, goes back down. Now, anything you see, you're going to have to tilt your head to the left because you got to go with the actual curvature of the planet. So you want to look at it like it's a flat area. So it goes like this, and I can just rotate this. Problem is when I zoom into it, it's going to break apart. But you can clearly see this thing goes off like this, stops, and goes down like a ramp into this large square area. Okay? Yeah, these are all of this in here. All of these things connect. This, and of course you can't see it too clearly. If I do this, let me go ahead and do this. It'd be better. You can see this area here. Again, with the people using the magnifiers, you can see something goes like this. It's round. Something underneath it that's also round. And these things go down like a step, like a set of structures going downward. Now, there's this area here, all of this stuff in the back here, but let's keep going on here. So what I do is I try to lighten up anything that's bright or slightly lighter than the rest of the area to give you guys a better way of looking at it. So you can see what these things are, just objects, and they're not simply just, you know, craters and mountain ridges. Okay, so this is the one I enhanced before, and I try to take like a more of a, almost like a ground view, if you will. Just change the angle of the picture just slightly. And you can see these things. These things are clearly not just little... In fact, this piece right here, if you're looking at it, I'm going to zoom in just a hair bit, but right here, there's something sticking right out of the middle of it. Almost like some kind of weird tower or something, and you can see these other pieces here, and I'm going to go back. But all of these things in the background, all of this in here, I'm going to show you the one that has both halves of the planet. I'm going to let you guys have that one and pick that apart. And you're just going to be going, oh my God, there's no way that this is... let me go back to this right here, because this is the one I want you guys to see. This area here is nothing more. I use my eyepiece, this one here. I use this eyepiece, and I had my camera go through it. And this is what you see what this larger object is. It looks like it does this. It spiders off. There's 1, comes down. 2, comes down. 3, goes down. 4. This thing, whatever the hell this thing is, and it doesn't do the photo justice. I promise you it don't. But it's right here in the back. Now... what you'll see is all in this area. Watch this. When you have a look at this thing now, if you got your, again, you got your magnifiers, take a look at this top area here, all in here. All of this area in here. This spidered out, whatever the hell that thing is. And then just have a look at the rest of the picture, all right here. In the middle of the photo. This little gray object, it looks like it's oval in the face of it, but yet it's smooth and silverish. These are not... I repeat, these are not naturally occurring objects. These things are absolutely man-made. Well, when I say man-made, I should say intelligently made. Let's be, you know, politically correct, if you will. But just have a look at anything. You'll find, excuse me, you'll find right here what looks like, in fact, I could take my own eyepiece. A lot of these things here, like this line going, this white line way up here, I'm just going to zoom in and I'll zoom back out. Right here, it's off the ground. Or is it under the ground and this radar is actually penetrating? This right here, and again, it's getting pixelated because I'm zooming into it, but again, you'll get the photos and you'll be able to pick these apart yourself and download them yourself and have at it. But you can see it's like oval in the front of this piece here, but it's all like almost like an eyeball shape, if you will, and it's all silverish and smooth. And then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and these other objects laying right here, and I can see this with my magnifying glass, and oh my God. All this whole area here looks like there's got like towers or something standing up. There's like openings like giant tubes and something. I don't know what the hell this stuff is, but it's clearly not just a natural occurring phenomenon. It's not, you know, like I said, some of these here could be actual lava tubes and stuff like that, as hot as the planet is. However, I believe it's a lot of underground structures, and this is what they're hiding from us. Again, you've got Mars. It's showing, you know, there was or is intelligent life, or is and was, depending on how you want to look at it. That was life on Mars. You've got the radar image of the moon. Clearly shows me that's intelligently made. There's no way around this. And this is no different. This area here is just awesome. It looks like like a top of, if you were looking down at a radar image, I shouldn't say a radar, but a satellite image of a giant storm, like a hurricane. It's like a spiral to it. It goes like this here and spirals in. But this here, there's something very large sticking right here, and it's going upward, and there's a shadow below it. Now, I'm going to just go back out, so if anybody is using a, you know, magnifier of any sort, have a look at that. And then slowly go over this whole picture right here. There's all kinds of structures sitting right here. And like I said, this area here. And it just, I mean, it's everywhere, guys. It's just absolutely everywhere. This one only shows half of what I want to show you. The one that has both planets, you're gonna enjoy this. I made it a little bit lighter in case you wanted to really look into these things. So there wouldn't be so many darkened areas, and you can actually have a look. This right here is just wild. I don't know what this thing is, but it spiders off. Like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's incredible. The stuff you're finding on this thing is insane. All of this whole area, right up in this area, shows objects that are clearly off the ground. You can see they have height to them. Okay, this is back to the other one. Now, watch this. Let me jump into... Oh, that ain't it. Let me go back to it if I can find it. Okay. This right here, I'm going to give you... Now, you notice I got top here at the top, and I also have top at the bottom. You'd go, well, wouldn't you call that the bottom? No. What I want you to do is when you take this in the best way to do this, put this in your Photoshop, and when you're going to look at the top half, make sure that you're not looking... If it's down here at the bottom, you don't want it here at the bottom. You want to look at it right here. Okay? And then when you want to look at this bottom section, rotate it, flip it over. So in other words, it would look like this. So now you've got this part here. Again, check this thing out. All of these pieces here, you've got height. There's actually height to these things. All of these pieces here, there's like these little, oh my God. When you look at it with a magnifier, it doesn't show much on this, but a magnifier shows all. And the thing is, when you see these things here, all of these here, and there's a bunch of them, I forget where the heck they're at. Just have a look at it, go over them slowly. This one over here. All of these pieces, these are actually not naturally occurring. And like I said, this thing goes up like this, goes around, comes back down, it has a bottom piece to it, and everything connects. You notice everything kind of goes up and connects with each other. Is it possible these are like tubes for them to travel through? Maybe they're underground. I don't know. It's all hearsay, and it's all, like I said, it's just pure speculation. It's all we can do here, because we don't know. Again, this middle section also shows some kind of weird structures or something in it. But check this out, guys. You got something way over here. It looks like it's actually up over, or it's on the surface of Venus. And what you're seeing is under it, something traveling over here, and something very large going over here. But what's crazy about it, look at all of these things. They're all connected in one shape or another. You've got objects here in this lower corner. Again, look at it with your magnifier. Have a look at these small pieces. I can go over this thing all over. And my God, there's a ton of things to see in this thing. Like I said, if you look at these pieces here, clearly are not just naturally occurring. I'm trying to remember where the heck... I mean, there's so much to see in this thing. Oh, my God. Look at all up in here. They're connected in one way, shape, or form, and they look like structures, like right in here. All in this area. There was one that really stood out that was just like insane. And I'm trying to figure out where that went. Oh, right in here. This thing, you can just definitely tell 100% in this area that is not naturally occurring. What these things are is they're all interlocked. They're all just like, they look like structures all in a row. Now, are they large structures? Some people may argue, well, those would have to be astronomically large. Well, keep in mind, the resolution isn't the best. So you might be seeing multiple structures A lot more than what you're really seeing when you use a magnifier. And the reason why I've been trying to tell people to use the magnifier more and more is because, like I said, the second I do this, look at this, degrade, 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 totally degradation, and you can't see squat. You don't want that. You want the purest, clearest form of this photo you can get. And the best way to do it is just to back out of it, keep going, and have a look at it. I can do it like this, and I can use my magnifier and see all kinds of stuff on this. And this is without enhancing, or zooming it in, I should say. This is without zooming it in. So therefore, I mean, you can bring it in a hair bit. I mean, you can just like one step with your mouse, just a wheel on the mouse, and just bring it one step in and just have a look. These things are everywhere. It's just like there's structures everywhere in here. And, you know, you might say, well, they're quite large then. No, well, they don't have to be large. But this is, I'm almost positive that Venus is one of the planets that's also comparable to Earth size. So with that being said, the only difference with it is, like I said, they're saying that there's an atmosphere that's similar to Earth if you go to 30 to 40 miles above the surface. So, again, I can look at the bottom here without even rotating this. I can see these are clearly structures. Whatever these things are, they're clearly structures over in here. And just what you want to do is just go over this whole area. I mean, this whole thing slowly. And the things you'll find in here, like this little thing right here. Right in here. You look at that, it's a white piece, but it has a dome in it, or some kind of weird round circle or a dome over here. There's something literally standing out of this one. Now, you know, people might go, well, it's not that clear, so I can't tell what it is. Well, the thing is, you're using a radar, okay? This is not like a crystal clear, like if you're going to go out and get this, you know, take your, 16 meg camera and take crystal clear pictures. It's not going to work that way. That's not the way they're designed. Some of these are being recorded or taken pictures of through infrared, radar, combined of both, so on and so forth. So I'm going to give you these photos, and oh my God, I love the way these things look. Like I said, I mean, you see a lot of this you don't see in this right picture, which you and I would see through our telescopes. And I can look, and I won't see that in my telescope. But this, I mean, I won't see this rather on the left, but this I'll see all day long. Look at the difference, look at the detail, and especially in this Pasidonius crater. What the hell? What is that? Look at the way these things are. There's just clearly no way. They're seeing through the ground of Venus, and they've been doing it. And here's the thing, guys. Look this up yourself. Don't believe me. Look it up yourself. You'll see that they've done this to many, or just about every planet in our solar system. They've taken either infrared or radar images, ground-penetrating radar, that is, as well as combined infrared and radar images. So, and of course, they can make a composite out of them, so on and so forth, and they can bring out the detail they want to see, whichever part of the planet, moon, and they've done it, I believe, with 67p. So, have a look at these photos, research this stuff yourself, and tell me what you think. Because I can tell you right now, all the things you're seeing in these photos, I can go ahead and just bring this back around. All these things we're seeing in here, like I said, all of these, just go over with a fine-tooth comb. I think this is the best, the eyepiece is the best piece to use, and it's 5 times magnification, and it seems to work absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. You can put it, like I said, I put it over the screen about an inch and a half, and I just look over this thing, and oh my God, the details you can pull out of this thing is immense. And just going over this, you can just tell these things are just not natural. But I'll leave that up to you guys, because I love when you guys comment and tell me what you think is going on. Just because the surface is almost 900 degrees, that doesn't mean below the surface is. If you go to the hottest places here in the United States, we can reach up to 120, 130 degrees, like in the deserts of Nevada, things like that. There's people here on Earth have been digging in the ground for thousands of years. I can do it here, and I can dig into about 6 feet in the ground, and it'll be 54 degrees, round, seasonal. Doesn't matter if it's winter, summer, whatever, it's 54 degrees. What happens if you buried yourself about 50 to 100 degrees, 50 to 100 feet into the ground? What would the temperature be? Even on a 900 degree Fahrenheit surface, it'd be a lot cooler. And I think, and I'm almost positive, it says it's 243, and you can correct me on this. I think it's 300. It takes 243 of our days to totally make its own day on Venus. 243 of our days makes one day on Venus. So that's telling me if it's getting, I'm going to use the term roasted because of the sun on one side, you can't tell me that's a little cooler on the other side. It has to be. And they've also said now they're finding ice on Venus, I believe it is, and they're finding some water. I'm going, wait a minute. Shouldn't be any water if there's clearly this kind of temperatures. Shouldn't be any water there at all. So this is what makes you think, and you've got to look this stuff up and research it, and you'll find that there was or is life everywhere throughout our solar system and then some. So I'm going to let you guys check that out for yourselves. And like I said, within a day, I'm going to go ahead and, because I got some things I need to do today, I'm going to try to get these up as far as the actual pictures up on, Google Plus. So you can check that out, and I'll let you guys know when it is, in fact, up there. So anyways, give me your take on it. Let me know what you guys think. Share the video. Comment down below, which is the biggest thing for me. Give me some thumbs up. Always appreciate it. You guys know that. And I enjoy doing these things. I believe I can, listen, if I died tomorrow, I already know that there was life everywhere in the solar system. We are not alone. We've never been alone. And I think it's our government's just trying to suppress this for whatever reason, whether it be religious, political, got to do with the safety of our planet, so on and so forth. It means squat to me, because as far as I'm concerned, we know better. A lot of you subs are like hardcore on these photos. You dig into these sometimes even more than I do, and which is appreciated. I'm trying to get people to say, hey, you know what? I want to get people to open up their eyes, and I want people to say, I'm kind of on the fence about this. I don't know if this is real. Well, if you see anything that looks remotely intelligently made, it doesn't matter if it's from one of my Mars videos, Venus, the moon, research it. You can just, you can make your own decision. Whether I'm not trying to tell you guys, you need to believe this. No, not at all. I want you guys to just say, hey, there may be something to this. Open people's eyes one person at a time, and you can get the truth out. Word spreads. This is the reason why I say share the videos and so on and so forth, because this truth has to get out. And we're making waves in this, guys. Me is, because I'm in the UFA group, the United I keep saying that, United Federation. The United Family of Anomaly Hunters. Well, we can call it Federation too if we want to. But the point is, it's like we're all a family of researchers and stuff like that, and anomaly hunters, and we find these things. And it's getting to the point we're going to put the pressure, and we're just going to try to get the stuff out in mainstream if we can. So just keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, because, I got some cool stuff coming up too. Anyway, guys, spent enough time with you guys. Don't want to hang it up too much. I hope everybody has a good 4th of July, or had a good 4th of July, because we're just going to chill out, sit back in the, near the Bobby and have some dogs and some hamburg and just chill out. You guys have yourself a good and safe one, and we'll see you in the next video.